So let's talk. Hi. You know who I am, Surika Yamazaki here, but today it's not all about fun and laughter and jokes. It's a very serious topic. You know, we're talking about mental health. Today is Let's Talk Day, and I don't know, I talk about mental health every day, so for me it's not okay this one day and I'm gonna start talking about it more often. No, but there is a lot of stigma out there. There's a lot of people that think that you can suck it up, or you know, whatever is haunting you can just disappear, and just by mind of a matter. And I don't even know where you guys come from, honestly. I understand being naive and not obviously in the world of mental health, never experienced it. That's okay. Do you know what I mean? That's okay. You can be that type of person to not experience something. I have not experienced many things in my life, so I'm not going to talk about them. But the whole suck it up thing, it doesn't help anybody. It really doesn't. And some people ain't being ignorant. Some people ain't doing this because, you know, they want to be hurtful. Some people generally believe that mental illness is all about just thinking positively, so then you would feel better. I don't know about everybody on this planet, but I know about me, and I know that sucking it up it don't work. It doesn't work, especially in the black community. It's so bad. Like, there is stigma across the board for mental health, don't get me wrong. There is stigma across the board for mental health, but when it comes down to in the black community, it is so bad, because I don't know how to explain it, but they just don't believe in this type of thing. Like, a lot of black people don't believe in this type of thing, so it makes it 10 times hard. Like, when I was younger, my mom just thought I was naughty. She didn't think there was anything mentally wrong with me, because it was just not even a thought on her mind because of the way that she was brought up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people are a product of their upbringing, and there is no shame, no shade about that. But you know, right now my mom has grown, because I'm her child. She has grown. She has seen me grow up. She's seen me go through all my difficulties and seen me not be able to, I don't know, just not be able to cope very well. So she's had to learn about mental health on a different scale because it affected her daughter. But I don't know how to explain it. There's like, for me, it's horrible to feel like you can't talk about something. Can you imagine going through something horrendous that has nothing to do with mental health, but you yourself going through something like, let's just say you had a car crash, or you just found some devastating news. Let's say you didn't get the job that you were looking for, or whatever. Can you imagine not being able to talk about it? Because some people would just be like, so you didn't get a job, so you had a car crash, so what about it? That's how we feel. Like, no matter what we say when it comes down to mental health, once you say mental health, borderline personality disorder, depression, anxiety, people automatically turn off, or they automatically feel like, are you going to kill me? Like, it is that ridiculous. It really is that ridiculous. We as a people need to talk about it. We need to discuss it. It needs to be so talked about that it's just a normal conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like we can talk about it and the record doesn't need to skip in the background. Like, you don't need to just, you know, it's so silent that you can hear a penny drop. We don't need all of that. We need support, understanding, and care. Sometimes you don't need to go through something to relate to somebody else, and that's, I don't know, I don't know. There's so much stigma out there, and it's ridiculous, because that doesn't help anybody. When you turn around and you stifle somebody or shun them for something, that, especially when they're coming to you and they're saying something like, I can't cope right now, I can't deal right now, I need extra help, I don't know what's going on. Like, when I was my lowest and I was at my sickest, hopefully that's a word, but when I was really ill, I didn't know what was going on with me. And at the time when I was reaching out to this person, that person, that person for support, because I didn't understand, I didn't get what was going on. I was angry all of the time. I couldn't control my emotions, I couldn't control my feelings. I was firing off, popping off at people that I truly adore and love, and I couldn't control it. You know, I didn't get greeted with the kindest of words. I didn't get greeted with the love and the compassion that you would think that you would. Like, I feel like a lot of people want to turn around and say, well,
you know, with certain difficulties like disabilities, you can physically see and feel what's going on with that person, because that person, you know, is in a wheelchair, or that person is blind, or that person is deaf. You can, you know, you can blatantly tell. So when it comes down to mental health, like, seeing is believing, and I can see that you got a mental health problem.
Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Chester, I love you, because that is the realest quote ever. Like, that's the problem. The problem is people feel like, you know, they can't see it. It's not like a physical thing that you can see before you meet the person. And because of that, 99.9% of the time, we're in a problem, we're in a situation. A lot of people don't want to know, a lot of people don't relate, they can't get with you, they can't get on your level. And I just feel that is just sad. It is sad, horrible, depressing even more. You know, I'm coming to you because I want help, I want to change, I want to stop feeling this way. Like, nobody wants to go through life feeling like they want to jump off a bridge every 2 seconds. Nobody wants to go through life feeling that the only way that they can release is to self-harm and all the rest of it. Nobody wants to go out there and be out there and outrageous. You know, with borderline personality disorder, they have a tendency of cheating on their spouse. They have a tendency to be out there being very sexualized, because they don't understand that sex is not love. Yeah, they need somebody to guide them. There is so many other things. Like, I feel everybody's emotions on a different type of level. There's certain things I cannot do. Like, for instance, I can hardly deal with my children's school, because as soon as I hear there's something wrong or someone's done something to my child, my reaction is not just, okay, let's go down to the school and let's talk to the teacher. No, that's not the reaction. So my husband has to do that. Do you know what I mean? There's certain things that I need to do to cope and to be able to coexist with other people. It's so hard. And the one thing that shouldn't be hard is expressing that, is talking about that. But people make it hard. Even down to mental health services. Not because they're in that profession does not mean that they have any more compassion to somebody else that ain't in that field. Half of the stuff and half of the stigma comes from people in that profession because they're tired, they're overworked, and sometimes they don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. Oh, so you want to kill yourself? Okay, go. You know, there have been times where people have said that. Well, you know, oh, why didn't you do it then? You know, I've had that. Why didn't you do it then? You know, it is real, it is out here, and it is just, as a community, we need to help one another. In the black community, you guys need to get it together, yeah, because it's real. I am black, I have a mental illness, I don't hide from it anymore, yeah, and I used to, because stigma. I want to make friends, you know. I used to feel like, oh, you know, let me push my mental health to a back seat because I want to make friends. And every time I've opened my mouth and turned around and said that I have a mental illness, they've turned around and just abandoned me, because all you see on the TV screen is, oh, EastEnders, that young lady had bipolar. Why is she jumping into graves? That's not how it always is. Why is it always extreme when you want to talk about mental illness? People always associate mental illness with someone killing somebody, doing something crazy, or whatever. It's everything. Everything is linked, you know. People that don't have people around them that suffer with a mental illness often get half of their knowledge from TV, magazines, those type of things, or word of mouth, yeah. And 99.9% of the things, no one's really starting a conversation and talking anything positive about mental health. So it's always negative about mental health. So when they see somebody or finally meet somebody who has something, i.e. anxiety, depression, BPD or whatever, they automatically think, oh my god, are you like that person that I heard about? Oh my god. And it's down to us, unfortunately, if you have a mental illness, it is really down to us to talk. It's down to us to express ourselves more, because the mental health service ain't got your back. They ain't got your back. Do you know what I mean? They I don't know what they're doing. There's no resources. There's no funding. They already know what helps the mental health community. They know. But yet they keep cutting funding, they keep stopping services. You know, there's a service called HAD, and they basically are the Association of Disabled People, and they help mentally challenged people. They help all sorts of people, disabilities, mental health, the whole shebang. If you can't fill out a form by yourself, if you need help, and they also employ people with mental illnesses. So you'll often go in there and you'll see a whole load of people like yourself who's going through it. You're not talking to somebody who don't know nothing. When you're talking to a receptionist, that receptionist has a mental illness or has something that ails them. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole thing was just lovely. And where are they now? They shipped them off into, they had their own building, I might add. Now they are shipped off in a section of the library, and they have to now charge people for their service because they completely lost their funding, and because they want to stay to help others, they are so ashamed. They're like, we're so ashamed, but we want to still help people. So now we're getting charged for their service. Like, even though they help so many people get their benefits, so many people are more understanding, they come out to your house as well if you cannot come out to you. Do you know what I mean? They're such a helpful service for people who can't do certain things by themselves, and they are pushed to their limits. And I just think to myself, look at that. That's another service gone just like that. Mental health service has just gone down the drain in my eyes. I am an advocate for mental health services. I have told you guys before that they helped me at a time, 2009 they helped me, but I've gone back since, and it is really shocking. It's shocking. I don't know if I will turn around and tell people you should go to mental health, you should ring that number, because they're not exactly getting the help that they deserve and they need. So what do I do as somebody who has been helped by mental health services back in the day? Now all I can say to people is talk, express yourself, tell the people around you, trying to find your triggers. Everything is you, because there is hardly any help out there for people who have mental illness. When I took my overdose, when I was self-harming, when I was at my lowest, when I decided to end it all many times, it wasn't the mental health service ultimately that came and helped me. There's people out there that are literally so frightened to come out and talk about mental health because of the stigma, and because they've probably tried to come out and seek help, and because the mental health system is a joke right now, they've been completely put off. I touched on this in one of my videos where I went to for a meeting at the mental health team, and they basically gave me leaflets on something they knew wouldn't help me, because when she was giving me the leaflet, she was like, oh, I know that you probably know about this already, but here it is anyway. And you think to yourself, like, you already know it's not going to help me, but because you ain't got no funding to help me the way that you know I need help, you're left with giving me a leaflet to something you know that I don't need. That is the mental health system, people. That is what's turning away people. And then what happens when we lose our minds and we go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and we can't control ourselves? Then we're the crazy ones. Then we're the out of control ones. Where was the help? And then you read that, oh, this person went to mental health services 1,000 times and they didn't get any help. And now they're committed for the rest of their life because they've done something dangerous and it's not their fault. Like, it is a horrible cycle. If you guys are crying about funding and you're crying about, oh, money, and you're cutting services, how much does it take to look after a mental health patient indefinitely in a mental hospital? How much does that cost taxpayers? How much? Because I'm sure that is a lot more than actually giving the help at the foundation level. It's just ridiculous. It really is sad, because they tell you, go to your GP, go to mental health services, go get that help, honeys, go get that help, go get that help. And when you go get that help, what do you get? What do you get? I'm not sitting here and discouraging anybody from getting help, because it's different in every single city, different in every single town, different in different parts of the world. So I'm not sitting here bashing it, but where I am, where my area is terrible. And I know a lot of other people around the continent, and it's terrible for them too. I just think to myself that if we don't start talking about it, regardless of the stigma, it's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse. That's why I started my channel in the first place. I wanted to talk about my mental health, and it has helped me. It has helped me so much to talk about it and express it in a way that I couldn't before. Like, it's just helped me. This is my outlet. This is what I've had to do, because there is no services out there for me. So I've done this, and lucky for me, it's helping me. It's helping me. And I don't know what else to really say. We need to talk more. It can't just be a selective few. If you're suffering with it and people are not listening to you and they don't want to hear you, figure out your triggers. You need to figure out what gets on your nerves, what's going to make you blow off, what's going to make you lose control. These are things that you need to do for yourself. Guide yourself. Find your favorite person. There's always someone out there. That's why my outro is the way that it is. Like, you are loved and you're all that anybody needs. There's going to be somebody out there who's really going to believe that, and they're going to take you on, and doesn't matter what's going on with you, they're going to be by your side. I just feel that it's a great injustice if I didn't say anything. If I've been suffering, I've experienced so much with the mental health service. I've experienced so much not having people like believing me, or not have people support me when it comes down to my mental health. I've had it all, and that's why I started my channel, to talk about that, to express that, to bring awareness, because the stigma it needs to die. It needs to die. The stigma needs to die. It needs to get gone. Nobody wants you in the mental health community. I just find it very sad that anybody else, group of people, can turn around and say, I need help for such and such and such. I need help for such and such and such. I need it. And they get it just like that. Somebody cries, they got anxiety, or they have severe phobias, or they have borderline personality disorder, or they get depressed. They're automatically shunned. They're automatically shunned and put to one side. And it's so bad, because our mind is what's not working correctly. To a certain extent, it's not working correctly. My mind is flawed. I get anxiety, I have a fear of rejection, but going through this road of getting better, what happens? That's right, you get rejected. You get rejected. You get rejected all of the time. All of the time. I'll never forget having a mental health worker, and he saw my caseload and he was like, oh, we don't want to give you any medication anymore, we want to stop your medication, we want to do this, we want to do that. And none of it was helpful, considering he looked on my file, and on my file it blatantly says that it's not helpful. I've tried many things. I'm a person that will try something and I'll go back to it a couple of years later and see if it will work again. I'm that type of person. I'm not a no, it's never gonna work, blah 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 type of person. But yet when you're looking at it from that perspective, and I've tried it 1 or 2 times or 3 times, and I am currently on something that works for me, you want to take me off it because you feel that I should go back to something that didn't work. Pill shaming is another problem. If you gotta take a pill to get out of bed in the morning, to function, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't understand where this stuff is coming from. I don't understand why it's okay to pill shame people, why it's okay to bully people, why it's okay to shun people when in their time of need. When has that become okay? When has stigma been the norm? People automatically know that there's so much stigma with mental health because of what they see on TV, because of what they hear. Like, it's the norm to not want to know somebody because they have a mental illness, not want to support somebody because they have a mental illness, because they don't have their stuff together like you, supposedly, because everybody has an issue. Doesn't matter what it is, everybody is fighting some sort of internal demon or has come from a fight with an eternal demon. I don't understand why people like to forget that at one stage in their life they could have been on the floor and they needed help their damn self. Like, really and truly, we need to do better as a society. We are killing people with our silence. We are killing people with our stigma and our nose up in the air, thinking that they're better than everybody else. Like, we are killing people. Suicide is a real thing. Yeah, and I'm sick and tired of people acting like it's inconvenient to deal with. It's not an inconvenience. We have the tools to save lives just by talking, reaching out, caring, loving one another. And we choose to squash it and stifle people because they have a mental illness. What happens when somebody who is suicidal reaches out to somebody else and that person shuns them? Do you think that person's going to walk about their day and feel better? Or do you think they're going to actually do something terrible? It all starts with all of us. It starts with all of us. It really does. I took an overdose because of someone's silly words to me, and at the time it was just so bad. I just felt like that's the only thing I could do. Well, this person doesn't want me on this planet either. This person's not helping me. I've gone to this person for help. I might as well just do it. They told me to do it then, so I did. And I am here. I am 31 years old and I have survived. I am a survivor. Yeah, and mental health services didn't get me here. Yeah, having people snub their nose at me didn't get me here. I'm here because I had to reevaluate the way that I thought about myself, and it was damn hard. I went through something really tragic, and I had to crawl on my hands and feet to get to the light, and that's why I'm here today. Mental health service helped me when on one occasion, and that's why I always talk about them. They're so good, because that one occasion I can generally say if it wasn't for mental health services I wouldn't be here. But that's not every single time, unfortunately, and it should be every single time. They should get it right every single time. They're dealing with people's fragile minds. We just need to do better. We need more funding, more learning, more compassion, more love. We need a stage where we can feel completely at ease in talking about whatever issues we have. Doesn't matter what it is. If you have anxiety, what's the problem? Support that person, love that person. If somebody comes to you and you can't handle it and it's too much for you to handle, there is so many services out there that they can the Samaritans, do you know what I mean, suicide helplines. There's so many things that you could just have on hand, because you never know who you might meet. You never know who you might meet that might need that extra help that you can't give them at the time. Let's Talk Day was an amazing day, and it's an amazing movement, but let's not get it twisted. Just like Black History Month, if we're black every day of the year for the rest of our lives, not just a month, not just a day, when it comes down to mental health, not just a day, yeah, talk about it every single day. Make it a normal thing to talk about, because mental health can affect anybody at any given time. You don't need to be born with it. You could just go through something tragic, you could go through something stressful, you can go through something just not quite right for you that you can't handle, and you could be depressed for a time. Some people have depression all their life, some people only have it for a time. So you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know if it's going to affect you or a loved one. So why wouldn't you want to get it right? You know, why wouldn't you want to help somebody? Why do we have to have stigma? Why is it okay to shun people and make them feel terrible about something they can't even control? We are the first line of anything, and that is just my thoughts on this Let's Talk scenario. You know, I have borderline personality disorder, I get depressed, I have anxiety, I have many other things, and I don't know what I would do if I didn't find the people that's in my life right now that I can talk to. I probably wouldn't be here, and that is the realest thing. I probably wouldn't be here. I am lucky and I'm fortunate, I am blessed that I have the people around me that I do, that I have my children that keep me grounded. I am very blessed and very lucky, but not everybody's gonna have my experience, and that's what I'm doing this for, and that's what everybody else should do this for. We need to help each other. We need to kill stigma. Stigma's got to go, because ultimately we're all human. We need to start saving lives. If you know anybody, or if you feel you know anybody that needs a little extra help and care, I always have the helplines underneath in my description below. I have many of them. Sorry if I don't have all of them, but I have the majority of the helplines are always in my description, every single video that I've ever done, and just forward on that information. It's all about helping people, and that is just my take on this Let's Talk thing. I hope that people can see this and talk more about it. When, as you can see, I'm just like you. Do you know what I mean? I don't look different because of my mental illness. I'm a human being. I love the same. I am a person. I am a person. They are people. Treat them as such. Just treat them as such. It's been your girl Rika Yamazaki here. Just know that you're loved and you're all that anybody needs, and I believe that. Just know that you're loved and you're all that anybody needs, honeys. And I'll catch you in the next video.